Nice to be checking in with Sabres defenseman Colin Miller, who finds himself in Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. How would you describe, Colin, your last month or so in the Soo?
Yeah, it's been a little strange. Strange being home that early. I don't think that's happened for, obviously a long time, but I don't know, a little different. Experience some ice on the water and stuff like that normally you're not used to coming home to, but just been about keeping busy.
What have you not been able to do that you typically would do when you're home, i.e., like a favorite restaurant you would dine at or something like that?
Yeah. Well, even just catching up with friends. I mean, it's been hard to obviously see anybody. Normally, I think when first thing you do when you get home is go see all your buddies and family and stuff like that. And it's been strange, not being able to see everyone, but hopefully soon enough we'll be able to.
Are you a guy that does, utilize this kind of technology an awful lot to try to connect to some of those people?
Well, yeah, more now. I think Host Party and what's the other one there? Zoom. That's what we've been using most with my buddies. But yeah, you have to. I think once a week trying to catch up with them is important, and it's I think something that helps gets through all this.
I don't know how rare it is. Obviously, it happens because there are so many junior teams across North America, but I would still tend to think that you were maybe more in the minority and that you got to play in your hometown as a kid at that level. What has that ultimately meant as far as the number of friends that you still keep in your hometown after an experience like that?
Yeah, it was great. You're definitely right. I think growing up in my hometown there and playing here till I was 20 or so. A lot of them are around still, and a lot of guys that you might lose touch with over high school if you're going out of town and stuff like that are still good buddies. So very fortunate for that, and it's exciting to come home and see all those people that are still good friends.
Yeah, when life is normal, for sure. Now, beyond your role with the Sabres on the ice, you've also been an ambassador for the youth hockey and the Learn to Play program. Um, when you're at a time like this and you try to allow yourself to think back to the developmental years, the early memories of hockey, what were they for you? And when did you start? What age?
When did I start? I don't know. We had a backyard rink when I was pretty young. I think maybe 4 years old. We were skating around on the backyard rink with a couple neighbors in the backyard. So from a young age, the weather was always pretty cold here. We had long winters, just like in Buffalo there, and I was fortunate enough to have that outdoor rink. And then, obviously, once the other organized hockey started, then got into a little bit more there. But probably just that, a lot of outdoor rinks, a lot of cold nights out there on a backyard rink.
Do you remember any particular skill set that as a youngster you really wanted to work on or were focused on?
Backward skating was something that I think my dad always tried to make me pick up from a young age, especially playing defense. It's obviously an important tool, so that was something that we were always kind of working on when I was younger.
Did you ever dabble in any other positions, or have you always been a defenseman?
I played forward 1 year when I was really young, but no, from a young age, I think my dad was always involved, helping out, with coaching and stuff like that. And there's not a lot of kids who want to play defense. I think from a young age, everyone wants to score the goals. So I think by default, one of the coach's kids throw him back on defense, and that's where I started and liked it and grew from there.
Okay, but I think in my second year, I was playing on a team that had that one defenseman that could go end to end and dominate a game. And in goal, I honestly don't even know if had to make a save all year because of this one defenseman. So were you that defenseman that could just take over games?
I don't know. I was always a decent skater, from a young age. But I think around my grade 7, 8 years like that, Bantam hockey, I hadn't really had a real growth spurt yet, so I was one of the smaller kids. But yeah, it was always enjoyable for me to play defense. It was something that I liked, so stuck with it.
Do you remember a point in time, with a travel team that the training started to become different, that you guys were really focused on certain skill sets and or off ice workouts and things like that? And take us through your memories of that can still relate to the young kids today.
Yeah, I think it was probably more the summer workouts and stuff like that. Once I got up around the, bantam midget age of hockey, that was when it started being a lot more serious in the summer, as well as, throughout the winter with training and stuff like that. But I always played soccer in the summers normally before that. So I kind of shut hockey down for the summer and went to the soccer. But then I think the more older you get and the more focused you get on, one sport, that was more my, my year-round sport.
But I mean, in that sense, it's more just about staying active at all times, regardless of whether it's one sport, two, three, four, right?
Of course, yeah. More about my parents just getting me out of the house and wearing me out.
When you look at some of the videos we've had come in from kids that are associated with our Learn to Play program, what really stands out? I know one of them had Trey just doing a whole bunch of different types of, kind of training exercises.
Yeah, they were great. That's cool to see, and I think that's pretty cool that the kids are so passionate about it that young at getting their practice in wherever it may be. So those are always fun to see. I think I like the other one of the little guy in the driveway shooting on all the different nets. That was cute. But yeah, I think it's if it comes to you as something that's always fun, then that's even better because you're just learning new skills all the time.
Is there anything that you would encourage them, especially at a time like this, when you're trying to probably come up with new challenges on a daily basis, so you don't have that boredom or what have you? Are there things you'd like to see kids work on?
I don't think anything in particular. I just think expanding their game. They have the time now. And there's always, I think when you're younger, you're always have your couple things that you're really good at. You're either got a really good shot or a really good skater, but or whatever it may be. But definitely they have the time now to work on those other areas that are maybe not as focused on, and when times are so busy.
Were you a rollerblader at any point?
Yeah, I had rollerblades as a kid. I remember going around the block and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely seem to have everything out of the garage, all different kinds of sports.
I think the rollerblading, as you would imagine, is now seeing a spike. Obviously, I'm going to guess that it's all levels of hockey players because most places just don't have the ice right now. Can you believe that Rob Ray was a coach of a roller hockey championship team in Buffalo in 1994?
I could not believe that. No. Yeah, no, the rollerblades are great. I mean, especially in the summertime and stuff like that, you're not going to be going to a rink, or I think you should have some time off away from the rink. So it's awesome to see that so many kids are getting out there and rollerblading.
At what point would you recommend the physical side of it, as far as the weight training and the development from a strength standpoint, and how would you encourage kids to go about that?
I think it's different for all kids, and obviously from the age of as boys, from the age of 13 to 18, you're really changing your body. So I think there's always little things that you can be doing at a younger age, 13, 14, stuff like that. But as for the real weight training, I don't think it's too important until they're a little bit older, just for give their bodies time to naturally grow into their body.
Well, this one, it might be harder to answer, but I'll ask you because I think what we've known of you in your time in Buffalo, and certainly from what we've heard from your previous stops, you have the ability to be a very good teammate. So how do you impart that to young kids to be a better teammate for the greater good of the team?
Oh, I don't know. I think it's obviously all important. I mean, you're in a sport that's not an individual sport. Obviously, I think hockey is the ultimate team sport. You're going to have your good nights and your bad nights, and I think you always got to remember that it's your teammates picking you up in the bad nights and getting you through when you're not feeling your best as a hockey player too. So I don't know. I think it teaches so many things, as sports and obviously hockey, with a team and a group mentality growing up. So I think it's just about remembering that how you would want to be treated as a person, and the things that are going to help you that you probably think in your head, you should impart those on to other players as well.
And then what about from a coachability standpoint? Obviously, when you go through the ranks, you ultimately are guided by so many different voices over the course of your career. How does one absorb all of that and try to follow the lead of that particular person? What are the tricks of that? Because as you know, and we all know, not all personalities mesh at all times, right? So
Yeah.
so what's the challenge to that?
No, yeah, obviously there's going to be in a hockey team, it's normally 20 guys, and there's definitely always 20 different personalities. So I think you got to remember that. But I think there's things that I've always tried to learn is just take as much as you can, be like a sponge, especially from a young age. A lot of the people that are in the coaching positions and that are ahead of you have a lot more experience than you do. So always keep that in mind and take it in and try and just learn as much as you can. I don't think the learning really ever stops. For guys at the level that that we're at in the NHL, there's always new things you can learn, always new things that you can develop. So just try to take it all in.
And do you think, especially with some of the videos that we've been seeing from those kids, do you think that they maybe have I don't know, maybe even a little bit more of an advantage than what previous generations were, just because the phone is such a part of their world that they're really comfortable in videotaping their development, and it also might give them a little bit of extra confidence to be doing stuff like that?
Yeah, I think I think for me, it's always very interesting to see how much more kids are doing at such a younger age. Things that I definitely wasn't doing at that young of an age. Working on their skills and stuff like that. So all the power to them. I mean, the resources are out there. You can find them just about anywhere, like you said, on YouTube or anything. So take advantage of them and definitely use them.
Well, what's next for you in the immediate future as we remain on pause?
Not much. I mean, I've been waking up and getting a workout in here, every day, just trying to keep the body sharp. But as we talked before, the weather's getting better. It's kind of going to be a lot nicer to be able to get outside now. So I think things are turning around, and hopefully we're making a turn as well with the hockey, and we can get back to it
Family
sooner
and
than later.
family and friends are safe?
Yeah, everybody's safe. Been hard to see my parents. Don't want to go around them or get them contained or anything like that. But just like everybody, I think obviously being over precautionary is important right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Colin, thanks so much for the insight for the kids and the time as always.
Okay, thanks.